Hi, and welcome to the Douglas on My Mind show. I'm Blondell Thomas, the City of Douglas Public Information Manager. And today I'm going to be talking with some folks about the American Legion's activities that are coming up in months following May and in May. And we'll also be sharing some information about the Douglas Warbird Expo and the Douglas Coffee County Teen Court Program. So make plans to join us, and we'll be right back after this. Hi, and welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show, and I am here now with a very familiar face to the Douglas on My Mind show, and also to a lot of citizens and people here in Douglas, Mr. Jerome Lovin, who is now the Commander-elect of American Legion Post 515. So welcome, thank you for being here, and I'm sure you're excited to tell us about what's going on with American Legion.
Yeah, I am, and I'm excited to become commander again, and always an honor and a privilege to be the leader of that post.
Yes.
So thank you for having me.
That post stays very busy, so I know which you always stay busy anyway, so you're adding to that list again.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
we thank you for being here, and just tell us a little bit about what has been going on with the American Legion Post 515.
well, first I'd like to say, thank you for having me here, and two is about the American Legion, the world's largest veterans organization, nonprofit 501c, 2 million strong, but we still need members. Younger members, technology savvy, because this brain is getting a little old and don't know much about that. But we've been conducting our business as best we can with COVID, and each meeting we do conduct our meetings as safe as possible.
Right.
We have an update on COVID so that we can make an informed decision about what to do with our posts.
Correct.
Because I know the general public is concerned. They ask questions, when can we use it? But I don't think you want COVID in your house in no shape, form, or fashion.
Oh no.
So we have to do the same, because we don't need it. We don't need to pass it on. So we try to do our best to do that.
Right. Just being a little responsible and making sure that everything's going like it should be in the house, as you say, and making sure that everybody stays safe.
Yeah, but we do the best we can to support the public.
Right.
With limited numbers to come through when need be, and special events. We do that.
Right. I know this is kind of off script, but y'all just recently helped us with the Great American Cleanup. We met at your post, and we really appreciate you allowing us to do that. We had a good turnout for this first time that the Keep Douglas Beautiful committee held that. So we hope again to maybe host it there again, or do whatever we can to help y'all in the future.
Just phone call away. We'll do what we can. That's in this script we talk about Reef Across America, find a way to serve.
Right.
We do our best to serve whenever and wherever.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. Okay. Well, what has Post 515 been up to the past few months?
Well, the last month, especially the May, April time frame, we had to conduct our programs. The fifth grade essay contest, oratorical. We didn't have a contestant this year, but that was a young lady did a couple of years before. And academic scholarships, we had to present those checks to those kids.
Right.
We partnered with the CHS NGROTC for the National Day of Prayer.
Okay.
Again, a partnership. And we've conducted military honors for several veterans when the military could not come.
Right.
That's one of the things we're proud of, because me personally, I believe every veteran deserves a military homegoing.
They do.
But if they can't, they need something that's formal, presented to that next of kin, and that's what we're here for.
Right, and I can say I appreciate you for that too, because you helped me out during a difficult time when my dad passed. So
yes,
you are always around whenever somebody needs you. That's for sure.
Let me say this: you say I'm always around.
Oh, well,
we are. I own my message. I do my best, but we got a group. There's not a lot, but we got a group that we come together and do what we need to do.
You do,
Yeah.
and Forgive me for saying that. I do know it's a group, so thank goodness.
very much.
And we appreciate all that they do. Well, it's time to get ready for setting out flags. Memorial Day's coming up, so tell me what your plans are for that.
Well, we're planning to do an annual Memorial Day service at the memorial in front of the courthouse.
Okay.
On May the 30th, Monday, from 12 to 12:30.
Okay.
And we love to have the public come. We had a pretty good turnout last year, but there are 87 heroes on those walls back there. They are first responders,
Right.
and veterans who gave their lives fighting our wars. I mean, what's 30 minutes to give them and say thank you for your service, your life that you
Exactly.
gave for? That's what we're there for. We want to remember those. And on the 26th, we plan to put flags at the Douglas City Cemetery.
Okay.
And by Friday, all of those cemeteries we've identified for Reef Across America, 85 of them,
Oh,
we have
wow.
flags on those over 3,300 veterans' graves.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
that's what we're gearing up for the Memorial Day time frame.
Yes, you always, the group always helps out when it is time to remember our veterans on Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and other days throughout the year. Where you mentioned kind of about Wreaths Across America. I know it's time to start gearing up for that because that's almost a year-round event that you have.
Yeah, I'll start where I normally end. It's never too early or too late to donate.
That's right.
'Cause that's a year-round program. We accept donations and for that purpose. But Reef Across America is a national program observed the second and third Saturday in December every year.
Okay.
And this year it's going to be December the 17th. And its theme is find a way to serve. Man, that's American
that's
Legion
a
Post
good one.
515. And basically that's what we do. And we want to honor that theme. Their goal nationally is to place flags, wreaths on veterans' graves in national cemeteries. But we decided back in 2015 we want to do every veteran of Coffee County to put a flag and a wreath on their grave.
Right.
So to do that, it takes money. So this year, counting flags, we're over $50,000 that we need to raise.
Oh, wow.
And,
that is a lot.
Donations are coming in slowly, but never too early, too late. Just if you haven't given, just give, and we'll make sure it goes to that. Now, wreath costs $15. $15, and what is that to? Well, some people, I won't say it like this, some people may not be able to afford it, but if you can afford it, $15 to say, I will never forget. I remember those that gave. I'm honoring those that continue to serve to defend the freedoms that we have.
Right.
And by doing so, we may teach our young about sacrifices made for the freedom we all enjoy. So that's where we are with the Reef Across America now. I said $15 a wreath.
Right.
To donate, you can send donations to American Legion Post 515, P.O. Box 2094, Douglas, Georgia 31534.
Okay.
Or you can use our Venmo account, and it's uppercase A at American Legion Post uppercase P 515.
Okay.
That's the Venmo account, and you'll see it over and over again. Or just pick up the phone
Yes.
and call me, and I'll sure come get it. But we
So-
need.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
We sure need your help, and for past and continued, we appreciate and thank those cemetery points of contacts, community volunteers, the CHS NGROTC, the CCA Leo Club, all volunteers, and the city employees, those fire and police, they come out full.
They do.
Especially on Memorial Day, we expect to see them on 8 o'clock morning of the 26th to put out the flags.
Okay. Now, really, how many veterans do you estimate veterans' graves that you place the wreaths on? I know you mentioned 85 cemeteries. So about how many wreaths is that?
That's over 3,300.
Okay. Wow.
Over 3,300. Now, it keeps growing. We started out last year with 82 cemeteries and ended up with 85.
Okay.
So now, with that 85, and I must say, if you have a cemetery or you want wreaths added to the list, just pick up the phone and call, but be willing to help do the work,
Right.
raise the money for the flags and wreaths, and we'll be happy to add a cemetery.
Okay.
Because
all
our
right.
goal is to get every veteran of Coffee County, and these 85 is not all in Coffee County.
Right.
That's Coffee and surrounding counties, because people say, I want my loved one honored, so they decide to do the work.
It is really beautiful too at Christmas. I've seen them in the cemetery. It is just beautiful how they look laying there.
And before we leave there, if for some reason you've donated or not donated, and you go to a cemetery and see all these flags and wreaths, and your loved one doesn't have one, don't panic. Call me, I'll go fix it.
Right, right.
Just call and say, hey, mine didn't get one. But let's take appropriate action by getting the military markers to put on there, and that helps us identify and come out and help us do a little work.
Yeah, definitely. And normally on that Saturday, it's usually, sometimes it'll be cold. You never know in South Georgia. It may be cold. It may be 90 degrees outside. Who knows?
Yes.
But, okay, well, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about today? Anything else that folks, citizens can help you with?
Yes, I will say just continue to help us, and we will help you, because everything we get come from donations.
Right.
And July is the beginning of a new Legion year, July 1, and I asked all veterans, especially those that are members, current members, as soon as you get your renewal notice, send it in then so you don't forget.
Okay.
And I ask every veteran, try and join an American Legion post somewhere.
Right.
I mean, post 515 is a good place to start, but join one, because, military organizations or veteran organizations need your support, because that helps your community. And I would say this, giving is great, but when you decide to give locally.
Right.
Locally, because if you give to us, every year you see where your dollar goes. It goes back into our community. So we just hope you can help us do that, and contact us, and we'll serve whenever and wherever we can.
Okay. Well, give that phone number again to contact you at.
My phone number is 912-592-6413.
Okay. All right.
Be happy to serve.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being here, and I'm sure closer to the Wreaths Across America date, we'll have you back on the show to, do another little quick boost, and hopefully we'll get some funds in to help you out, or funds or volunteers to help you out.
We appreciate that and be happy to come.
All right. Thank you for being here. And we'll be right back after this.
Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.
Day we hustle, but the night we
Know that they ride or die. I'm a OG boy. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.
Day we hustle, but the night
Boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. My name came up a lot of sounds. More when I was not around. Certain people that I know.
Hi, and welcome back to the Douglas On My Mind show. I am here now with Miss Dinitra Williams. She is our Teen Court and Mayor's Youth Council coordinator.
Yes.
She wears
Hello.
2 hats. Plus, she wears another one too. But we're not going to talk about the other day. But and Miss Jaylene Devereaux, she is the current Mayor Pro Tem with the Mayor's Youth Council, and she also
is an
helps
attorney,
with
for our
helps
teen
with the
court.
teen
She
court
works
program.
defense and prosecutor.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you wear 2 hats, or 3, or 4. It sounds like 4. Okay. All right. Well, Dinitra, to start us off with, just tell us a little bit about the Teen Court program.
Okay, well, thank you for inviting us here. I am so excited. Always any opportunity to talk about our youth, our amazing youth, and the programs that we have for them. The Teen Court program, it's a program that teaches our youth about the judicial system.
Okay.
And a lot of people like, oh, are those mock? We did have a mock trial, but all of the other trials are actual trials.
Okay.
Where youth in our community have gotten in trouble or have swayed away. And that is the purpose of the program, is to, you had that little moment, or
Right.
maybe you got involved with the wrong people or whatever, and kind of got off track. The Teen Court program is here to put
get
you
'em
back
back.
on
That's
track.
right. Definitely.
And to help you to not get involved or continue in that behavior,
Okay.
or having that behavior intensify.
Right.
So this is a program, it's usually a 6-month program that gives you enough time to do all of the things that may be included that you have to do to complete the program, such as Mentoring is part of it. We work with our partners, AIM, Ambitious Young Men, with Mr. Mike Bazell.
Okay.
And also with Fly Girls, First Love Yourself, with Miss Jessica Williams. And we have a new partner with mentoring is Miss Latressa Moses, and that's STEM 101. And again, that's part of the whole process and getting you to rethink, think through your actions before you just act upon them, and to just refocus on doing the right thing.
That's right.
So that's the mentoring part. You have community service. That may be that's another thing that is sometimes given. Well, that is always given.
Right.
And you may even have to write an essay.
Okay.
That
helps sometimes.
Yeah, consequences of wrong choices.
Right.
And sometimes an apology letter based on what happened and what you did and who was involved.
Okay. That sounds like, I mean, it sounds like a good program to help the kids to realize how their actions could hurt them down the road.
Exactly.
and how they need to go on the right path now.
Yes. And upon completing the program, everything is stricken then from your record. So
okay. Well, that's really good.
That is really good. And you're gaining the community service hours that also helps you with high school. But on the other side, the participants that are there to help the program, like the officers, the attorneys, the clerk of court, the bailiff, all of those positions are held by youth as well.
Okay.
The only adult in the room with any authority is the judge.
So they actually get to hear what other kids or other youth think their consequences should be.
Exactly.
Oh,
And you would be surprised because they was like, oh, they should have known better.
Right.
They knew they weren't supposed to be there, you know, so we're going for the max. I was like, okay, this is a peer.
Right.
And part of the qualifications to participate or have your case referred to teen court from Department of Juvenile Justice is that it has to be your first offense.
Okay.
And it has to be a misdemeanor, and it cannot involve any severe danger or you fighting with a weapon or anything like that. So those are the cases that we get. But we work with our partners, Department of Juvenile Justice, which is up there with Rhonda and it's Rita and
some great people.
Some great people, and they refer the cases to us to handle, and they come before their peers, the jurors are their peers. You have to be in the Coffee County school system, but not just a regular school. You could be homeschooled, private school, but between the grades of 6th and 12th grade.
Okay, all right. But I think it's a good program because it does give those kids a second chance. I mean, because everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
And so that's what it's for.
Yes.
I mean, if you're definitely determined that you want to do better, this program will help them to do better. Right.
Yes.
Well, Miss Jaylene, you've been quiet here. Now we are going to ask you a couple of questions. What's your experience been like on teen court with both of your hats that you wear, prosecutor and defense attorney?
Oh, it's amazing. Yes, well, I've learned how an actual court trial works. So if I want to be a lawyer, it's really been on my mind lately now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I learned how to be the defense and prosecution. You know, prosecution is, you're wrong. This is what you did. Defense is, I'm going to stick up for you even though you did wrong.
Right.
I've also served as a foreman for the jury, the person who reads the verdict, and I've served as clerk of court, read what's the case number and how are you guilty, not guilty. I've served as the bailiff.
Oh,
These
wow. I know. We could actually let you run the whole court.
Yes.
I mean, wow, that is
And in
amazing.
fact, she was one of the original students that went over when we went to Dublin, our mentor program.
Right.
We went over to see how all this worked, and we were amazed.
Right.
The Mayor Polk and the current administration, that's how we brought it to Douglas. They went there and they saw how, these youth involved in speaking on behalf of their peers and learning how to speak in front of people and just the confidence that they built. And it was just amazing. And the mayor was like, hey, I had some problems when I was growing up.
Right.
He wasn't one of the best students, just we'll say that.
Yeah.
And so he was like, hey, we need an opportunity to give the kids here a second chance. And Jaylene and several of her friends were part of that group that we got on the bus early one morning and went over to Dublin and saw it in action and received training to bring it back here to Douglas.
That's good. That's really good. I know you said you were a junior in high school.
Yes, ma'am.
So everybody, you need to go ahead and sign up for the Teen Court program to get all this experience or to learn from Jaylene. And you really think it might help you in deciding to become an attorney?
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
good.
It's like,
That's really good. I mean, that's awesome.
yeah.
Any program that can help our youth make decisions regarding,
A
like
career
life
in this,
decisions
yeah.
and career. That's really
Because they
good.
have hands-on experience. Our judge is the assistant DA, Ian Sansot. So he works with them and getting prepared for the mock trial. We had Mr. Julius Collins on speed dial. So
wonderful.
he worked with the attorneys. They had Zoom meetings. They had questions. Attorney Kirkland, he made himself available. So they're working with professionals that is doing this every day. So it gives them kind of an in, and with the hands-on experience, especially those that are considering a career in law enforcement or in the criminal justice field.
Right. Now, you mentioned it, the mock trial.
Yes.
You held it on May the 7th.
Yes.
So how did that go?
Oh, it was hilarious. It was so amazing, and it was so educational, but it was so funny. We had Officer Clayton and Officer Williams, Mr. Thumbbucket. And he had to testify. The gist of the trial was that they had stolen from Walmart.
Okay.
And we actually, Mr. Sansot had gotten evidence. He had the picture of the security camera, the receipt. Miss Wilson from his office testified. She was the monitor that saw the security for Walmart. And then Corporal West, he was the arresting officer. It was hilarious because they were like, it just was hilarious. You had to be there. But again, there was an opportunity for them to learn and to learn even how to introduce something into evidence for a court trial, how to interview witnesses to include our law enforcement, other professionals, which was kind of scary. And I'll let Jaylene talk about that because she was like, but I don't want to make them mad. I'm a kid. So, what was your experience in interviewing some of the witnesses?
Well, first, were you prosecutor or defense?
I was prosecuting. I love prosecuting.
Lead. Yeah, and we had lead defense, Mia Batten, and we had the other team members that helped or had to interview or had to introduce something into evidence. So everybody had a role. Miss Jane Ashley Rowell, Miss
Haley.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you had a lot of community involvement with it too. But go ahead and share with us. How did it go? I mean, were you intimidated or did you intimidate?
I intimidated them.
That's wonderful.
Oh my goodness, it was like, I was nervous at first because I'm like, okay, these are adults. These people is like 40 years old and I'm gonna, so I just talked to them like I'm talking to my friends. I was like, so you know what you're doing? You know, it was just like, it was a real wonderful experience. It was, I don't know.
It got you excited about it.
Yes, well, it was really funny. Like, he was there, had the whole jury, everybody laughed. It was just.
That's good. I hate that I missed it now that y'all are talking so much about it.
We need to have another one.
We need to have Johnny film it and then we can share it on Channel 13.
Exactly. And we will be having another one. Mr. Sansot is kind of busy right now, running for the district attorney position, but he said that he will get with additional officers so they can rotate and stuff and playing a part and being witnesses and being the defend it. But they make it hilarious, but learning at the same time.
That's
so
good.
it was
That's
wonderful.
wonderful. Well, you have to make it fun.
Yeah.
To keep the youth involved, you have to have a little bit of excitement in there, just to keep their attention to
Yes.
us. And that's wonderful. Well, there are also a couple of other youth programs, or exactly just one that we want to talk about today. Donitra, just tell us a little bit about some other chances that the youth have to become involved with the community.
Okay. The other exquisite program that I just adore
Right.
is the Mayor's Youth Council. And these are some of our youngest and brightest from our community. These are from 8th grade to 12th
Okay.
to apply. And you have to submit an application and an essay and go through an interview process.
Oh, okay.
To be involved, because we only have, unfortunately, about 10 slots.
Right.
Because we actually have to travel sometimes. Due to COVID, we didn't travel as much in the last 2 terms.
Right.
But hopefully we'll get that back on, and we'll have conferences where
Right.
they meet other members of the Mayor's Youth Council from Dublin, Atlanta, Macon, Tybee Island. They're throughout the state. So
Right.
they all come together and they work on team building, speaking in front of groups. They just learn a lot of skills, and they have a lot of fun. We go to arcades and mystery places. Remember when Juanetta went to the place in Savannah and
Right. I was going to say it looked like they had a really good time at GMA last
Oh,
year.
yes, it was.
And
It was
but
fun.
you also learned from that, and that's what the whole reason for the program is.
Yes.
And we may be government officials, but every now and then you do have to add a little bit of excitement in there too, because it just strictly work all the time is not fun.
Right. In any field.
That's
you
right.
got to have a balance. Yeah.
A good
but
balance.
They got a chance. I mean, they learn who in Douglas does what. They meet all the department heads
Right.
for the city. So they know if something's going on with utilities, they know who to call. And they
Right.
will get on the phone and call the mayor and say, hey, this is a humongous pothole over here, and there has to be, and he answers. He gives them
Exactly.
his number,
That's
and
good.
they call him directly, and they're like, hey, I got an issue, or I got, this is going on, or just a voice of their peers about all the things that's happening in our community.
Right.
They are the ones that this is going to roll over to, so they
Right.
need to have
They
a
are
say.
the future.
Exactly. They need to have a say in our community and what's going on.
Okay. Well, if there is a youth or a parent who wants to get their youth involved in either one of these 2 programs, who would they need to contact?
Okay, of course they can call me anytime. They all know Mr. Nitra doesn't sleep, so they can call me at 912-331-9398.
Okay.
Or at any time they can go on the City of Douglas page.
Right.
Or we have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
We have a Douglas Mayor's Youth Council Facebook page, and we usually try to post upcoming events and what's happening within our youth or within our city
Right.
related to our youth. Or they can call Ms. Wynetta. She will answer any questions, provide applications. She's the city clerk,
Right.
and she has the applications there, and they can come by and fill those out, or they can call her directly at 912-389-3405, and just let her know that they're interested in teen court or mayor's
me
youth council
up.
or both.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't mind you being involved in both programs.
That's right, exactly. Okay, well, thank you both for being here today, and it sounds like this program and the Youth Council program, they're just great programs. I'm involved, or I help out with
Yes.
the Youth Council some, but it's great opportunities for our kids to get involved in positive things in our community. All right, well, we'll be right back after this. Hi, and welcome back to the show. I am here now with Mr. Ed Coleman, the Air Base Preservation and Development Committee member, and he is also a member of the 63rd Preservation Group. And we are going to talk about the Douglas Warbird Expo. But before we talk about the expo, I'm also here with Stephanie Childers. She's not an unfamiliar face to anybody in Douglas. She is the Chamber of Commerce's Tourism and Events Director. So we are fixing to talk a lot about something exciting that's coming to Douglas.
Yes, we're
I think
very
it's going to
excited.
be great. I often hear people say they want an air show back in Douglas. Well, guess what? We've got something similar, but it's not an air show. The Douglas Warbird Expo coming to town. So Ed, tell us a little bit about that group.
Well, like you said, we're here to invite you to the Douglas Warbird Expo at the Douglas Municipal Gene Chambers Airport, May 31st through June 2nd.
All right.
It's just 2 short weeks away, and school will be out. A lot of people will be a good opportunity to do a staycation
Right.
and come see us. This is a result of almost 10 months worth of collaboration with the Commemorative Air Force, or CAF, Air Base Georgia, and the CAF Air Wing, sister wings of the Air Base Georgia, and also local communities, the Georgia World War II Heritage Trail, and trail partners. So the Douglas Warbird Expo is a community event that will touch all ages through education, inspiration, and remembrance. It's been over 75 years since the Air Armada, the largest Air Armada ever seen, took to the skies over Europe.
Right.
And those were 1,000 bomber formations that, if you can imagine 1,000 aircraft in the air at one time, when the first bomber was coming off the target after he dropped his bomb load, the last bombers were just taking off from England.
Wow, that is
So-
crazy.
So here in Douglas, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of that week, we're going to have 3 vintage warbirds in the skies over Douglas.
So when you hear something in the skies on those days, there's not a bomb, there's nothing like that. It's just those large aircraft, and they are loud.
Yes,
I can
ma'am.
only imagine what it sounded like whenever those bombers were heading over to do their job back during World War II.
So the three aircraft we have coming is the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress. It's presented to us by the CAF Gulf Coast Wing, and the B-17G Texas Raiders
Okay.
is one of only 3 remaining B-17s that are flying today.
Oh, wow.
There are other aircraft being restored and will fly again at some time, but the Texas Raider is only one of 3 that's actually flying today. And the aircraft was restored primarily for a purpose of education and to be a flying museum. It's authentically restored it bristles with machine guns and period-specific equipment. The other aircraft that will be here is a T-6 Texan Advanced Trainer and a C-45 Expediter. The T-6 trained combat pilots all during World War II, and the C-45 was used in multiple roles. It was a transport, navigation, and weapons trainer, a light bomber, photo reconnaissance, mission liaison, and a mothership for drones.
Oh, wow.
The C-45 that's coming to Douglas is a Navy transport in which the whole family can fly together on. We also additionally have the PT-17 Stearman, like the ones that flew over the skies of Douglas during the 40s out of the
Right.
historic World War II training base.
And I've actually flown in one of those. I'm so proud to say I have. I enjoyed it. I've never been in an airplane except for that.
Oh, how funny.
Isn't that weird? I know
That's
you
different.
don't find very
Yeah.
many people my age that's never flown. But yes, my first flight was in a P-17.
So we also have cockpit tours and flights that will be available to the public beginning on that Tuesday afternoon, May 31st.
Okay. Well, tell us. I mean, when you say a cockpit tour, what would that be? What would that entail?
Well, let's start back. The expo itself is free.
Right.
So the entire expo is free to the public. Admission to the tarmac, where the aircraft is parked, is $10 for adults, $5 for children. Family of 5 would charge $20.
Okay.
And on that access to the tarmac is a tour of the aircraft and cockpit tours. Be able to go inside the aircraft and sit in the seats where the pilots and aircrew would have sat
Wow.
during the war. With that said, active duty military also will be allowed with an ID card, will be free admission. And the tours will be conducted from 2 to 4 on that Tuesday, May 31st, and then from 10 to 4 on the the Wednesday and Thursday following. That's June 1st and 2nd, excluding flying times.
Okay.
So if you do wish to fly on the B-17 or the T-6 or the C-45, you can contact the Texas Raiders at 1-855-FLY-A-B-17.
Right.
Or go to their website, b17texasraiders.org.
Right, because they do need to make a reservation and pay ahead of time for that.
Correct.
Okay.
They actually, if there are seats available and they come out to the airport when the aircraft are on the ground, they can also purchase tickets there. Cost of flights are $100 on the C-45,
Okay.
$830 on the T-6, and on the B-17, the seats start at $495 per flight.
Okay. And I'm sure all of these fees go back into the program of the education, and
Yes, ma'am.
because you have to pay for, fuel, maintenance. I mean, you still have to keep these airplanes up, right? Right. So that's not too bad to go on possibly a one in a lifetime experience, especially with your family, or if a World War II veteran is still still living, they may want to take that opportunity to go up and just re-experience it. Then again, they may not. I mean, you never know. I know. Well, will the World War II Flight Training Museum be open during the expo?
Yes, ma'am. The museum will be open from 11 to 4 on Wednesday through Saturday that week.
Okay.
To help get the visitors from the terminal over to the museum, we plan to have a van to shuttle people back and forth.
Okay.
Company C of the 63rd Signal Battalion, Living History Reenactors, World War II Living History, will be present to provide exhibits as well as a narrative about the Army Air Force during World War II and the role of the Air Base here in Douglas during that time.
Oh, that would be
And
interesting.
they'll escort our visitors on the van across over there, give them a narrative, and then return and shuttle people back and forth
Okay.
as
Are
we
you
go.
still looking for a van?
Yes, we've got a tentative.
So if you have a van, let us know.
Yeah, we understand that a lot of people have 14-passenger vans, and a lot of churches do, and there's concerns about insurance. But if you do have a van that you could loan to us, or even drive for us during that time frame, we'd sure appreciate it. Again, that's June 1st and 2nd, from 10 in the morning to 4 p.m. We'll throw in some goodies to entice you if you're willing to come out and work with us on that.
Of course, definitely. Now, what else is going to be taking place during the expo?
Well, we also have Barracks 5 there on the air base, which will be open for an open house. It's a newly refurbished barracks that people can walk through and see how the refurbishment went.
Okay.
The building was refurbished for other purposes other than a barracks.
Right.
So hopefully at some point in the future, we'll get aviation-related business or some sort of enterprise into that building.
Right.
But right now, you'll be able to tour that during the open house, or during the expo. That open house will take place. Also, there will be a display on the Georgia World War II Heritage Trail and information about the 10 sites on the trail, and also some information from our friends at the Chamber to help us get the word out about the opportunities within this area. One thing about the Douglas World War II Heritage Trail, there's not a trail site more than a 2-hour drive from any place in the state of Georgia.
Right.
So looking for a staycation, looking for something to do on the weekend, 2-hour drive is not bad. From here, we've got, including Douglas, we also have the St. Mary's Submarine Museum that's within a 2-hour drive, and the World War II Homefront Museum within a 2-hour drive.
Okay, well, that's really good. Douglas is in a good location, it sounds like.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, and this is also a prime opportunity to get people who did not realize the uniqueness of our air base that's out there. If they didn't realize that it was there and what it was, I know a lot of people just go by and think it's just some old buildings that are sitting out there, but they don't really realize the significance that we played during World War II.
Well, and that's one of the things that the World War II Heritage Trail and the CAF and all these activities are involved in is really to let people know what Georgians did during World War II and how their service and sacrifice contributed to what we know as the greatest generation.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Other things during the event you ask about is that the event itself will kick off with the arrival of the aircraft in the skies over Douglas about 11 a.m. on that Tuesday. The City of Douglas will host a welcome ceremony at noon at the airport terminal, which the public is invited to attend.
Okay.
That will be followed by a short media flight at 1 p.m. and then at 2 p.m. the doors open for cockpit tours and that on the tarmac. So full activity on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We kick off with the normal events. And I'll let Stephanie tell us a little bit about what's going on in the parking lot.
Stephanie's been working hard.
So the parking lot is where the free stuff is. But we have some arts and crafts vendors.
Okay,
Some of our Main
good.
Street market people are going to be there selling their goods. And we actually have a wood fire pizza, mobile pizza maker
Oh, wow.
coming up from Florida. So you can buy pizzas there. We should be having like a hot dog stand. Kona Ice will be there for all your slushies. So hopefully have a few little kids activities, something fun to do, just kind of make a whole afternoon of it. But bring your kids, especially, or anybody that's a history buff or a World War II buff or an airplane buff.
Right.
But it's just a great thing to do for a couple of days in the middle of the week when you're always sitting there going, well, what should we do today?
Right.
Now you know.
It's a learning experience too, and it's just, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for everybody to come out and just support the event that's happening out there. I know there are plans being talked about some more events to take place just to bring awareness of the air base and the World War II Museum to everybody in Georgia, all the way to California
That's
if we
right.
can, wherever we can get them. But now, is there anybody that has particularly went out of the way or helped you with anything with this event?
Well, like we said earlier, this is a community event, and it takes the whole community to make these things happen. Right now, we'd like to give thanks to our friends at the Fairfield Inn and Suites for being the home of the Texas Raiders while they're here in Douglas. Also like to thank the City of Douglas and Brooks Auto Parts for help with the team transportation while they're here. Chick-fil-A will be providing lunch on the first day of their arrival to the team. And also like to thank the 63rd Preservation Society for their help. There's still time if you or your organization or business would like to help. All sponsors will be recognized for their contributions in social media, press releases. And if you need information, you can contact the Chamber or myself, but the Chamber's number is 912-384-1823. 73, excuse me.
1873.
Ooh, 1873, misinformation there. But if you can't remember that number, the two electronic billboards in Douglas, one that the
yes.
city has that number displayed on it. One outside the chamber also has that number displayed on it.
Or check Facebook. The Visit Douglas-Coffee County GA Facebook page has all kinds of events, but this is a big one that we are pushing. The Douglas Chamber of Commerce has our phone number and a little bit about the event. So you can find it if you're looking for it.
Right, exactly. All right, well, we hope to see everybody out there at the airport. I know I will be there one of those days doing my little bit of support for the open house. So, yeah, I look forward to it. I'll be able to go out there and see some of those. I want to see the reenactors, because they came earlier in December of last year and helped out some. So it's good to see them back.
They were here in December for the open house at the Air Base and the museum. The same group of fellows are be back. In December, they focused on Army and Signal Corps activities. We also had some reenactors that were doing the Wehrmacht German Army displays.
Okay.
But this group will primarily be focused on Army Air Force. We do have a gentleman who is an Air Force Academy graduate who's was in military history, who has an extensive collection that he'll bring some of his displays out to show as well. So be a good place after you hit the vendors and hit the tarmac. And as you're walking around with your shaved ice, come over and see the folks at their flyover tent. It's a canopy. They'll have all their stuff set up underneath. And if you want to take a ride in the van, get in the van and go to the museum. If you want to go in your car, head to the museum and finish your day off over there.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you both for being here today.
Yes, thank you very much.
And we'll talk to you soon about some more events that's coming up.
Yep, we'll have plenty.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show, and I think that's going to wrap it up for this session of the Douglas on My Mind show for May. So we look forward to seeing you again next month in June.